Hello everybody, my name is Yodico and today I'm here with Yodico and today we're going to be reviewing Mighty Number 9. Now before we begin, let me just say me and Yodico are huge Mega Man fans. So when we heard Keiji Inafune, the self-professed creator of Mega Man, was going to be creating a Mega Man spiritual successor, we were hyped, since we haven't really gotten a Mega Man game in over several years. So he initially asked for $900,000, and by the end of it, they raised almost 4 million. Yeah. And so then we got a release date. Then it got delayed. Then delayed. Then finally a June 21st, 2016 release date came. And well, now it's out. So let's see if this game lived up to the hype or if it really does make us cry like an anime fan on prom night.
It's the present year. Violence has been reduced to robots fighting in a coliseum until a virus breaks out which basically corrupts every robot except for one. Mighty Number 9, aka Beck, aka an anime fan on prom night. So, it's up to Beck to fix Mighty Numbers 1 through 8 as he goes through the stages and beats them. And now, after this introduction cutscene, we are greeted with the opening level, which kinda reminds me of the Mega Man X opening level, but this one's not that good. So after a bit of jumping and shooting and dashing, we are greeted with Dr. Sanda and Caw, which, let's face it, Dr. Sanda is a Peter Griffin ripoff, and Caw is lifeless. I don't know if that was intentional, but she is. And after we finish the introductory stage, we have located the Mighty Numbers 1 through 8. So now it's just up to us to beat the stage, find them, and fix them. That is the story for Mighty Number 9.
This is the part where Mighty Number 9 doesn't really have a secure footing. What I mean by that is that in the tracks, it doesn't really have a lot of good tracks. I'm sure there are some gems like the main theme and Trinity, but there's also a lot of bleed ear biting stuff that'll make your ears tear out and all the stuff that I just said. Such as Mighty Number 3 stage track, and it's just god awful. May God have mercy on your soul. Anyways, yeah, and it's weird considering the composer's background, because Manome Matsume, the composer for this project, is a pro, if you will, in this area of her background. Because if her name sounds familiar to you, that's because she did songs for the original Mega Man series and 2 levels for Shovel Knight, which her work then was practically flawless, which I'm trying to figure out what happened with this. I mean, really, I have no words. You dropped the ball, Monterey. So, yeah. The soundtrack can be pretty decent. It also can be pretty bad. But, just muted overall. It's pretty bad. This part baffles me whenever I look at its development period. The graphics. You see, this game runs on the Unreal Engine 3, which is amazing since it looks like a crappy PS2 GameCube game. And keep in mind, the Unreal 3 engine gave us games like the Arkham series. What also bothers me is that by the time it came out, and by the time of one of its delays, the Unreal 4 engine already came out, which looks amazing, and it could have really benefit the art style that this game was going for, which is the Saturday morning cartoon. And yeah, even though it looks this underwhelming, Oh boy. Frames drop like that. In the final level, you can literally use one of your boss upgrades and it can drop your frames to single digits. I swear, when doing this, I thought my PS4 was going to break, guys. I am not kidding. I was generally concerned for it. Um, it's just, my gosh. And oh boy, the voice acting. The voice acting. If you can even call it that. You see, this game uses sort of nostalgia, but in 3D. You see, because what this game does for cutscene is it does static 3D models with no mouth movement or any facial expressions, well, sort of facial expressions, but they stay as one static image the entire game, with only little to none animations. I mean, seriously, the biggest example of this is Call. I mean, as Jody Yotiko explained earlier, she's lifeless. She's a freaking robot. It's just baffling that this game raised $4 million and yet they couldn't even get mouths to move. Anyone can animate mouths to move. Even the Gringo could animate mouths to move. And he didn't even go to a certain school just to learn it. My gosh, it's so stupid. Just bugs me. I mean, seriously, look at another game with terrible voice acting. The Resident Evil series. I mean, that game had terrible voice acting, but at least the games were quality. The most notable of which being Resident Evil 4. Some people say that's it's the best game of all time, which, yeah, I'd say it's pretty high up there. Anyways, as I was saying, also as Jody Yotiko once said, Dr. Sando's Pretty Griffin, but somehow even dumber. Yeah. This is an attempt for a Mega Man spiritual successor. So you're jumping, shooting, defeating enemies with other enemies' attacks. So yeah, it's got that. And then, but what separates this from every original Mega Man game is the new dash mechanics. You see, when you dash through enemies, you, well, absorb a special feat. You could get red, which means that you get a blaster upgrade, since Beck cannot charge his Mega Buster. That's what I'm calling it, because it is. Green means he's faster, which is kind of useless since you could just spam dash. And yellow, I don't know what yellow does. To be honest, I didn't bother. Yeah. Anyways, so there's also a blue, which when you get enough blue Zell, which shows you when they're ready to be absorbed through the dash, you fill up this game's equivalent to the E-tanks, which you can only keep 2 at a time, and you have to stay alive to use them, which is really sucky since this game is stuck with a lot of padding, in which cases you can, you have to stop because of waves of enemies. But the dash mechanic kind of breaks the game, because here I am, just casually going through what people say is a hard part of the level, and I didn't even have to do anything to beat it. Which the dash mechanic also brings me to another part. The bosses, yes, the Mega Man bosses, which made the Mega Man series so iconic. And so how are they? They're mediocre at best. I mean, seriously, I didn't enjoy fighting a single boss. Want why? Want why? They all have a one-hit kill move, which is utterly stupid because a lot of them break the boundaries of the game, such as them being on another plane, like Counter Shades or Mighty Number 8s, or them being one shot and then immediately no way to recover, which is stupid because they start to spam these moves over and over. And this could be anything from a suicide hit or a sticky bomb. And it's so stupid. But the Mega Man power upgrades, let's see how those do. They're not really that useful, which sucks because that's one of the bonuses. I mean, I only use them for the benefit of the video, but there's only 3 that you're generally gonna use besides your standard blaster, and that's Mighty Number 7's dual swords, Mighty Number 2's cryosphere, and Mighty Number 4's sticky bomb. Yeah. And what sucks is that all of the well, most of them at least, most of the boss power-ups seem very interesting in concept, like Mighty Number 3's electrodes or Mighty Number 7, no, not the 7's, my apologies, Mighty Number 5's dig thing. Tank treads, yeah. But you see, with Mighty Number 7's dual swords, that does massive damage through melee, and it doesn't even waste any ammo if you're not doing the charge shot. Mighty Number 2's cryosphere is very, very, very energy efficient. So, plus, it freezes enemies in place while constantly dealing damage. So it seems like the superior blasting choice. And then you have Mighty Number 4's sticky bomb, which is just used for getting rid of large portions of your enemies' waves, which this comes very handy when you're dealing with waves of enemies at once. That is especially true for the first part of the final level, which it's really sad because as I was saying earlier with the boss battles, they're just bullet sponges, which is no fun. It's practically the most boring boss ever. Seriously, here's all the battle. They're on one end, you're on the other. They come at you, you shoot, you dodge, you rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. It's super boring. And an added bonus though is that when you defeat a certain boss, they come back in another level and help you out. If you do Mighty Number 8's level, then you do Mighty Number 6's level. He comes and takes out all the drones for you, so that way you don't have to hurry in getting to the next area when the airship is sinking. This can be very, very, very helpful in a lot of, boss stages, because a lot of them use one-hit kill places like Mighty Number 5's. And I know I'm saying this over and over again, but the dash mechanic can break the game. I mean, seriously, here are a bunch of, stuff that I'm supposed to do, and I'm, just glide and wait, but no, it can easily be avoided just by simply dashing, which is really, really boring. Really boring. But the one redeeming quality that I love is Avi. He's the best part of the game. He should get his own spin-off title. Just make an Avi game. Boom, Mighty Number 6. Boom, you got your game right there. Inafune. That's your next game. That's your next Mighty Number game. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, I mean, this game is pretty simple at best, but all the bosses it's pretty easy to beat unless they have you're at the one hit kill part. Then may God bless your soul. Yeah. Oh, you thought I forgot? You thought I forgot? No, 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 no. You also play as, well, the lifeless soul robot that we aren't really attached to. Call. Her level is terrible. Wanna why? Because it's so tedious that I had to speed it up by 8. 8 times compared to its normal speed. I mean, it's not even fairly done. I mean, she sucks. I mean, I can understand what they were going for, but an execution is just god awful. Anyways, so yeah, so she is a huge step down from Beck. She can't dash through enemies. All she has is she can shoot one shot at a time, which which makes this really hard, especially with these types of enemies that they throw at you. You need multiple shots. She also has a shield that only works for blast, and she can hover. Her dash doesn't get rid of anything though, so if you dash into an enemy, you die. Yeah, yeah. There's also she also probably has the worst boss in the entire game. Seriously, this thing looks like Cerberus from Sonic 06. Another bad game. God. I mean, it's not like the boss is hard or anything. No, it's fairly simple and easy. I mean, it only took me 2 tries because I forgot that I can't rapidly shoot, or the fact that I have a shield. And as I said earlier, you don't have a very strong attachment to some of your items. Well, in this game, in one of the final levels, you sort of do. It's the robot factory, which it's not as tedious as call stage, but it can be very taxing compared to the rest of the game. I mean, on the cool side, I guess you kind of have um all of every single robot mighty number to help you on your way, but they don't really do anything except for mighty number 7, aka Brandish, or mighty number 2. I mean, mighty number 5 is just destroying a generator in the background, and mighty number 7 or 8 isn't really doing much. And later on, then Pyro helps you, or mighty number 1, and this is another part that I hate, as I'm showing you right now. Each time I dash, I leave myself very vulnerable to another enemy. I am so lucky that I didn't get hit that badly, but it's still a very, very bad thing. It's not good at all.
This is the final boss. So the final boss is Trinity, the one who's been training all the robots. Now this final boss, it has a lot of problems. So for one, the hitboxes are wonky. If you use Mighty Number 7 or Brandish's sword, you'll basically be invincible for that period when she uses her projectile attacks. And let's see, in the second form, it would either be super hard to attack, or that's probably my fault, but it literally on some parts, once I attacked, like with the cross spear, because honestly that seemed to be the best one to go with. When I attacked the second form, and you use that, sometimes it would not register. It would not be able to flash. I wouldn't be able to dash. So that means I would have to do it all. I would have to do that phase again. And speaking of which, if you die, and you are gonna die, you are gonna have to start the whole thing again. And that means, like, even if you just use one life, not even a game over. If you lose one life, you have to start the whole boss again. You don't just get to start at the second form. No, you have to start at the whole boss again, which can be tedious and annoying. So this is hard a bit to say the least. I mean, if you just get lucky and or you figure out the pattern, it could be pretty easy. But yeah, gotta let that down. So after you defeat Trinity, she's revealed to be more of a human-like robot. So and she apologizes for what she's done, and she is sorry and all that. Uh, After she apologizes, the whole thing comes falling down, which is cliche to say the least. So the mighty numbers, sorry, have to rescue Beck and Trinity. So when they get home, they start to celebrate all that. All the robots have gone back to normal. Dr. White start doing some weird thing. She goes back to being a human. It's weird. Bit out of context and weird for me, but yeah, that's the final level. A bit anticlimactic. I mean, there's good music. It's probably one of the only good things about it. But yeah, nothing really too rage-inducing. But yeah, that's the final level.
So, that's my number 9. Is it a good game? God, no. The music sure can have some good tracks, but it has as many ear-bleeding, bad, awful tracks. The graphics, PS2, GameCube era title. And I know some people saying, but Mega Man 2, 3, and onwards looked good, but those were pixel art. We're talking about jarring 3D graphics. Beck's cheeks look like they can cut diamonds in half. The Xbox 360, Mac, Linux versions were all delayed. And 360 owners were getting Steam codes, so that version might never come. So lucky them. The Wii U version at launch breaks the Wii U. So now Wii U owners have broken Wii U consoles and a game that they backed that broke it. Seriously. And even backers, they could not even get permission to see the alpha due to the due to some circumstances which are so stupid that I'm not even gonna say. Thankfully, she left concept, which was stupid. They still miss her, but everyone loved to see her get kicked by the curb. And now, some backers aren't even getting their freaking copy of the game they put money into. And even worse, the stupid thing is that Concept, the ones that created Mega Man, Mighty Number 9, were freaking sending it to, reviewers like IGN. But backers, some still haven't even gotten it, and it's still several weeks later. I mean, my gosh. The PS4 version could get corrupted on its download, leaving it a pixelated mess and just awful. PS3 version could get choppy. PC version, well, that one's probably the most stable. But it can be detected as a virus for some of your PCs. The Steam codes still weren't working. So people that got 2 DLC codes only got two DLC codes for one thing. Just one. And the worst thing is that the lack of communication between everyone left a lot of delays, which was one of the things that really upsetted everyone, which shocked everyone, even me. Because one of the headlines, yeah, Yeah. I'm getting crazy now. One of the headlines said Mighty Number 9 goes gold, which that was only true if you backed the game. And the worst part is, he doesn't add anything new to the gameplay. Also, yeah. I'm sorry. It's just so frustrating. Because there's also the other DLCs we were saying, which was Ray, which she is a ripoff of, Zero, the one KG Infinity actually created. But her mode is god awful. I miss for speedrunners. Her health is constantly depleting. Her dash mechanic can sometimes raise her health. And in bosses, you just have to pray that you don't get hit. This game gets R rating of a 3 out of 10. And if you still don't believe me, then I'm gonna go crazy after this. But I will do a playthrough of this god awful game just to make sure a soul does not touch it. Leave a comment. See if you want to see that. You shall receive if you don't touch it. Anyways, that's all for today, guys. As always, we will see you in the future. Bye bye.